how does this setup work for you tonight? How are you in communication with everybody, and how's that going to go down?
There's a level of comfort now with it. And I think that our IT department and our video guys really have done a great job. And I think this is the best connected we can be, obviously, in the situation, and making sure that we're keeping everybody safe.
How do you do with all this stuff? Is this part of your life now? Can you set all this stuff up? You got to have somebody help me? I'm an idiot. I can't figure out left or right. So I'm just wondering how it is for you.
Yeah, I think in the beginning there was a lot of, anxiety because you don't do a lot of, these things. Most of the stuff that you've done is live in person. But after a while, you're doing it, 2-3 times a day for the last couple of weeks. It seems much easier now than it did in the beginning.
When you look forward to tonight, tell me a little bit about how, and this process, this draft process for you, it's changed a little bit from the last couple years. Talk a little bit about that, Doug.
The coaches and the scouts have worked extremely hard together. We've had great conversations about where people fit, how we're going to fit them. Some players that are good players may not fit, exactly what we're looking for. We've discussed why. We've gone through the injuries, risk factors with players. So pretty much an A to Z composite. The missing piece is, obviously, in this time we weren't able to go out and, work players out, which we were planning on doing. But we really made up a lot of time with a lot of the FaceTiming these athletes, talking to them. It's still not the same, but at least you're getting another report. And, I've had a lot of time to talk to a lot of head coaches and position coaches about their players, probably more so than I've had in the past.
How tough is it for you? You're a hands-on guy. I suspect that the working out part is important to you. You like to see those guys go through drills and such. How tough was that part, not having that part available to you this time around?
Well, I think a lot, I go back to my experience as a college coach where, you kind of see the athletes, but you're really going off tape. And in college, you have to project, a whole lot more. Well, at least at Syracuse, we had to project a lot more than maybe other teams, meaning that, hey, I like these 5 running backs. Let's take them all as running backs, and whoever we pick as the 2 out of the 5, they'll play running back. The other 3, hey, they can play linebacker for us, So you do a lot of that in college. In the NFL, there's some players that, you might look at, I'll stick with my expertise with offensive line. You see someone, he's playing right tackle. Well, where do you think he can play? Well, I think he can play inside at guard. Well, you like to work him out just to see if technically he has that awareness and he has the ability to do the things that you're looking for. So I think the one thing that you the risk is higher with the way it is this year is the actual, projection of if you're going to move a player to a different position.
I'm just curious, you guys have a lot of flexibility tonight, but I'm wondering here, draft afternoon, do you have one guy in your mind that, man, I'd really like to get this guy on our team tonight?
No, I really don't. I have it to a form of, hey, there's a bunch of players in each of these areas where we feel that we're going to draft that, I look to them as coming, onto our team and creating great competition and being starters, at some point. I mean, we have 12 picks, and that's exciting for me. We're going to go in there. We're going to have a young football team, a bunch of guys that are excited about playing, about being around each other. We put a lot into, the personality, someone that's going to be open and team first. And I know you say that all the time, we as coaches, it's a lot of coach talk, but I mean, we really have dived into, a lot of these players and making sure that, we're bringing in the right type of guys for, number 1, to win football games, number 2, for the locker room, and 3, to be great leaders in our community.
Hey, last thing, how do you balance big guys against playmakers? I mean, they're only, there's that old adage, there's only so many big guys on this earth who can move like that, and you want to get those guys, and yet you can always use a guy who can, the ultimate, game is to win, right? I mean, to score more points than the other guy. So we need guys who can get the ball into the end zone. So how do you debate that in your mind?
I think for me, having done it in college where you do it all, you kind of go back to if, you get a lot. I give an example. So when I left New Orleans and went to Syracuse as the head coach, I probably had more high school quarterbacks that were 6 feet or under, that the coach would tell me, he's the next Drew Brees, or Darren Sproles, who's been a great player. He's the next Darren Sproles, or, Tyreek Hill, who's a great player. You see, they want to make those comparisons. I don't think that you knock anyone out. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe they don't have that height, weight, and speed, or the height and weight that you're looking for. But I do think there's a risk factor in there. And I think that if you gamble too much on that, at the end, you're going to wind up losing more than you win. So I think you got to be really careful and do due diligence on making sure you study, knowing how he's going to fit, how you're going to get him on the field, how he's going to produce, and see if you can build it from there. I think if you have two people that are the same, what usually for me splits the difference is I'll go with the height, weight, and speed, thinking that that's going to give you more potential to be a better player in the future.
Yeah, I appreciate you got a snack of choice tonight. What are you munching on during the draft?
Well, I just got done. I wanted to get a good breakfast in, so I had a couple eggs, and then I wanted to get an old school lunch in.
Okay.
And I tried to stay away from the bologna, so I had peanut butter and banana.
Okay. And
then, I'm excited because the one thing about the draft, and now what's difficult is I'm passing by my family in the hallways, the house. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you feeling? How you feeling?
Right.
I got anxiety. I'm and they're like, what do you mean you got anxiety? What you got to have your. I'm like. Because the one thing that you don't know, like everyone may be out there, and you see all these mock drafts and everything, a lot of times as this thing's going on, it's going to be fluid. There's going to be, it's kind of like you're going through a game where you're going to have to manage yourself and manage the draft as it goes, and who's being picked and who you pick, as it goes on. So, there's a lot of anxiety to that, not knowing who's going to trade or what's going to happen. You're watching the teams in your division first, and you're watching, the rest of the AFC and everyone else. So, it's an exciting time and a difficult environment, but we're doing everything we can to make sure everyone's safe. And, we're just thankful that we have a lot of great people, the first responders, our doctors, our nurses that are doing a great job, and, our government officials here in Jacksonville. So, we appreciate it.
And we're thankful for the NFL to give us a little diversion, that's for sure. So, good luck tonight, and hope you guys hit some home runs. Appreciate you.
Great. Thank you, Dan.
All right, Doug.
Action Sports Jax Primetime, Saturday at 10:30 on Fox 30.